Looks like we are live. Welcome, Arm Wrestling fans. I'm Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News, and today we have two guests with us. First of all, we have the Arnold Classic champion himself with us, Austin. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, how are you doing, sir? You having a good day, my man?
Having a great day, brother. And second of all, we have Lincoln with us, who actually told me that we should do a show with this. Actually, he asked me to do a video. Then I told him that I was thinking about making a video, but I do not have enough data on this. And just reading out the results on a video doesn't make much sense. We have to get into detail sometimes. So thank you very much, Lincoln, for that idea.
Happy to be
And
here.
how are you doing, brother?
Doing very good. Too good.
So it is kind of unfortunate that tournaments are not really well known right now in throughout the world. So I'm following arm wrestling really closely, and I am someone who do not know much about Arnold Classic. So can you tell us when was the last time Arnold Classic was scheduled, and what is the fixed location? I'm sure that they are not changing locations every time. So what is the location? Where is it happening?
Okay, the Arnold is a well-known convention center, convention area in Columbus, Ohio. It's the biggest health and fitness gathering and convention in the United States. And since the pandemic, the last time they have had it was 2018 or 19. I'm trying to think. I think it might have been 18.
I think it was 18.
Yeah, 18. Michael Todd, I believe, won it over Dennis Trubin that year. And it's been going on since 1985. So it's been going on for 35 years now, 36 years. So it's a very well-known tournament. You get a lot of expos going on. They have everything from fencing to
The strongman.
the strongman,
That's one of the biggest.
to
events for strongman.
bodybuilding, to arm wrestling, to anything and everything. So
Right. First time I got to know about Arnold's, I think it was the tournament where Paul Lynn also won. So I just suddenly hopped onto a Paul Lynn video. He said, I'm cutting weight for Arnold's. And this was the first time when I really watched Paul Lynn. So I think it was 2018 tournament where Paul Lynn won his class.
I believe that was the last one.
So how many weight classes are there? How many weight classes are there in Arnold's? Left-handed, or is it only right-handed?
It's only right-handed, and I want to say the weight classes, was it like 150 or 140, 150 something, or 170,
54, 176,
One-
198.
198, then 242.
I don't think
and
there was a 220 class.
There was not a 220 class, and then heavyweights after 242.
Right. And who are the winners beside you? Before we get to let's start with the lightweights. I saw some matches on Arm Wrestling TV, and Alex Toprol does a really great job in recording tournaments. He's the only high level player who is recording these tournaments. So hats off to him. So there was a women's class and the lightweight class. So let's start with the lightweight class. Who was the winner in the lightweight classes?
Yeah, it was David Stefanian. I'm probably butchering his name. David Stefanian.
So people were traveling to compete here. It was not just about USA.
So the Arnold's is, let's see, there's usually 250 competitors in up to 12 countries that enter for arm wrestling.
Okay. Actually, we have a super chat from Benjamin Corin, and I do not know what he means by the super chat. I like turtles. That is all. Can you guys relate?
It's a video from some kid. It's like some guy on YouTube. It's a kid. I don't know. It's funny. It's a silly video on YouTube.
So I think the lightest class was where Luke Kent won, or there was even lighter class there.
That was 190 or 180s or
176.
176. That was 176.
So actually, the guy that got second in that one, Brandon Simpson, he trains with us too.
Yeah, I trained with the guy that came second, Brandon Simpson, that took second to Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Brandon are both from Louisville, Kentucky. Same area. We live like 10 minutes from one another.
Right. So the first class that we're talking about, do you know where that guy is from? Because I think we had how many internationals competing? other than USA?
Like maybe there were 6 or 7 countries. I don't know completely.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know what-
It's usually
So
like-
let's talk about the next class.
okay.
The big match that I saw in that class was Luke Kent easily beating Wesgan, and Wesgan is the real deal. So how did that surprise you, or and who were you
Yeah,
expecting to win in that match?
No, he ended up he came
Third.
third. He ended up coming third. I was he's a very strong individual and he's a monster. I know he's known as the Giant Killer, and he's a super cool guy. I talked to him for a little bit, but yeah, I was very surprised. I was, actually impressed to see my friend Brandon pull him over with such a little amount of training he's been doing, and to see Luke, do well. Luke do as well as he did. So, yes.
And the next class, what was the next class? Around 200 pounds, I guess.
198.
198 to 240.
Yeah,
Those ones.
198.
Oh, 198. My bad. 198. And then that's Zaza,
Yep. And
Joe. And then, Zaza is a strong kid, strong guy for 198. Super strong.
He's from Azerbaijan, which country? Do you have any idea about him?
I don't know, to be honest. I couldn't tell you. I wish I knew.
All right, man. Let's talk about the big guys now. So let's jump straight into your class. Tell us something. How many were competing in that? What was the bracket like that
Let's
day?
see. We had a total of
8.
10,
You had 8.
eight individuals.
Yeah, had qualified
It
for
was
it.
that had qualified for it.
All right, man. And what is happening today? I'm seeing notification. Only 5 people are live. Aussie Arm Wrestler is also live. Only 5, 6. So where is the entire arm wrestling community today? Nobody is live right now. Nobody is watching us. I don't know what's up with this.
But is there somebody else live today besides Ozzy? I think so.
Nope, I don't think so. 10. Okay, 10. I just updated. We have 10 now.
Hey.
Benjamin Corin. So you were saying how many competitors were there in your class?
8, I believe, 8 or 10.
8 or 10. So who was your biggest competition out there? Like who were you trying to beat? Like who was your goal, or who had your...
the big names that were there were Don Underwood, Ozislav,
Mirtala
Ozislav, and then Harold Owens. They were all, strong individuals. There was 2 guys I had not pulled before. I had pulled Harold. I've never pulled Don Underwood. Don Underwood had a strong side pressure. And Ozislav, he had a crazy amount of strength too. Luckily, I was just able to stay on the outside of their hands. I was able to keep their hand open where they couldn't engage a lot of strength whatsoever.
Okay, so Pabnaful Mohammed is typing that Ryan Bowen is live right now. I do not see him live on YouTube. If he is, can you please, brother, go to his chat and some viewers from there to hear. tell the viewers that Pradeep is also live with the Arnold Classic champion. So yeah, Mirthala Aslanov. First time I heard about that guy was when he faced Corey West. Then Michael Todd told us that he has wins on Levan and he has done many great things. And Corey West had a really good match against him. It was kind of dominant in the end, but the matches were long. It was not like clean sweeps, fast hits, but you kind of made it look easy. So to be honest, were you expecting to win there when you...
No, I was not. I was not expecting to win because I'm left-hand dominant, and it was my first time ever at Arnold. You know what I mean? Like, it was the first time I'd ever been qualified for Arnold's or anything like that. So I just worked hard during the pandemic. But no, I wasn't. My right arm, it did well. My back pressure felt very strong. My wrist and hand felt very good. No, but my right hand, it did feel dominating. It felt strong.
So you said you started working hard during the pandemic. How long have you been arm wrestling for right now?
About 5 years.
Not just training, actually competing.
Well, I've been training for, I guess, 5 years. I've been actually competing for probably, I guess, 3 or 4. 3.
Because you beat Corey West.
Only 3 years and 3
Yeah.
years, and you won the Arnold Classic. That is a great feat. So many people are saying,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm a strong individual. I'm a pretty big, strong kid. My dad was a big, strong guy. I've always been stronger, like farm strength or brute strength, more than weight room strength. And now I'm just getting strong in the weight room, and I think my brute strength is just starting to transfer a lot on the table, and my technique's getting better. But I've always been one of the strongest kids around, if not the strongest.
All right. And Austin, we are going to talk about your previous match with Wayne Withers, and that was the first time I got to know about you. Before that, we have a super chat to read. Mohammed Pabnaful with the super chat. Congratulations to Austin, and congratulations to Pradeep for acquiring 10,000 subscribers. Thanks, Austin, for adding me to your friends list.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, congrats on that, Pradeep. 10,000. That's no joke. Good
Yeah,
job.
that's
Yeah.
impressive. That's some hard work.
Thank you very much. In such a small sport like arm wrestling, and for someone like me who isn't really competing himself, that is definitely a big feat. And do you know Muhammad? Muhammad and Devon have a kind of a great relationship on Facebook.
Oh, who is it?
Muhammad Hassan, is that his last name? On Facebook.
Yes.
I've seen him in
Yeah, Muhammad Hassan.
I'll have to check it out.
Muhammad Hassan.
With social media better.
So what are the channels on YouTube you are watching? Like, do you stay updated with arm wrestling scene on social media, or is it just about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Or is it just about you and your friends, whatever you guys are discussing together, or you are actually watching on YouTube to kind of stay updated with the scene?
I stay very updated with it. It's just at the same time, I do it as a hobby and a fun, healthy activity with my brotherhood and my friends. And I have fun with it. I do take it serious when it comes to training. But yes, I do watch YouTube. I try to pay attention to who's in my weight class. I try to pay attention to pretty much who's in my way, honestly. I don't have too much time to really, not saying like I'm saying like I really just got to focus on who's ahead of me. I know people come around others and people train hard, but I really try to focus on people's styles and how they pull, and I try to train for that kryptonite. If somebody's a hooker, I'm going to try to, of course, back pressure them. I'm trying to top roll. If someone presses, I'm going to lat drag. I'm going to pull them away for their body. I'm not going to let them go into a press. It really just depends on how somebody is. If somebody's a top roller, I'm going to try to low hook and, or low top row. It's so you just got to strategize and stay updated, like you said.
Yeah. So you are kind of missing out intentionally on the Facebook side of arm wrestling. Facebook, the rivalries that are going on online and the trolling and everything. It is fun sometimes, but when you have less time,
I need to get better with getting involved with the drama, I guess. It's like I need to be like talking like I'm on a WWF wrestler or pro wrestler. Listen here, brother. But I don't know. I need to learn how to, I guess, talk smack, but I let my actions speak louder than my words. I do want people to follow me on Facebook, and I want people to follow me on TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. And I love that, and I support it. Please do it. And I will continue to put material up. But at the same time, I like to focus on my training, and I like to keep things simple.
Right. It is great. And
this right here, Lincoln, he's my right-hand man when it comes to arm wrestling. Oh. And Mike West is my
like Jedi.
Master Sensei. He's my master sensei Jedi of training when it comes to arm wrestling.
So how far away from each other are you guys living? Are you regularly practicing together?
Yeah. He lives probably 15, 20 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah. I actually run a club. When I first started arm wrestling about 2 years ago, I had nobody to train with. So I started a club. So now we have like 10, 15 guys, but we're all amateurs because we're all like 2 years or less. So then we're like the amateur club, and then Mike West has Arms by Jesus Christ Club. It's like 30 minutes north, and that's kind of who he's always trained with. And they're a little more professional, just bigger guys, super heavyweights.
They got bigger, stronger individuals. They kind of gather together, and the setup that Mike West has is, absolutely amazing. He has side pressure machines. He has back pressure machines. His basement looks like a Russian experimental. It looks like somewhere where you would build a monster, of an arm wrestling monster. So there's like 5 cable machines set up, 4 arm wrestling tables, 1,000 pounds of weights. So he has every tool to make a very, very well-rounded arm wrestler.
We typically have practice 2 or 3 times a week at least.
So Lincoln, you said that you started arm wrestling just about 2 years ago. So you are kind of still new in this sport, but I guess I can say you had the fortunate to be in United States where tournaments kind of never stopped during the pandemic. So have you been recently competing since then?
Yeah, I've done like in the last 6 months, I've done like 8 tournaments, just trying to do everything I can to get as good as I can, pull with guys that are way better than me, like him, Simpson, Mike West. I hung out with Chance in Florida and got to train with him a little bit. It was great.
And what is your usual weight class? And have you gotten to the level yet where you need to cut down weight to perform better?
So right now I'm at the point where I just went up a weight class, so I'm up to 220s, and I'm trying to go pro into that class, get out of amateurs there. But I kind of got frustrated my first year by making progress and then cutting weight, and I would kind of lose that progress by cutting. So now I'm just kind of like, the bigger the better. Let's get the progress, and whatever weight class I end up in, that's where I'll start to try and get competitive. So, but I placed 3rd at Alabama State last month. So
you did well.
I got a tournament coming up this weekend. So.
All right. So Big Frank commented about 7 to 10 minutes ago that Bowen's stream froze. God is listening to us, man. Ozzy is live and Beerman will be live at 6. And Devon and Matt can go live later. Today is live day again, I guess. So Pabnapul asked about you, Austin. How old are you and what is your weight and height?
Okay, I'm 30 years old. I'm 6'2". I weigh about 310, 315 pounds. But I got really long arms. I got like a 6'8" reach. So it's, it helps. It's deceiving on the table. I can move my elbow anywhere and not really run out of arm length. It helps, so, but I played, like I said, I played college football, 17 years of football. I had 2 professional teams look at me, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the 49ers in the NFL. Then I did a little bit of mixed martial arts. And that's funny because I fought my body weight was 242 pounds. And that's when I placed 3rd left and right-handed at nationals. My first year going pro, or second year going pro, was the pro 242-pound weight class. I weighed in exactly at 242. So.
All right. So let's get back to your match with Wayne Withers. I have one comment from Big Frank. Props to Austin for taking such a hot match without much notice. Not many would do that. So how much notice did you get before the Wayne Withers match?
I would love, honestly, I would like to have a rematch down the road sooner than later, but later than sooner. If you know what I mean. Like, I guess within 2022, but that's all I have to say.
You took that on like 4 days.
I took it on a 4-day notice. Yeah. 4-day notice.
We actually trained the day that we took the match.
I trained hard the day I took the match. I mean, like curling 300, 200, 280 pound hard on my preacher curls. I had worked. I was exhausted. When I pulled Wayne, and this is no excuse at all, but when I pulled Wayne, I was probably 70%.
So would you like to run that rematch sometime near in the future?
Yes, absolutely. I would.
And what was the exact reason? I think Paul Italia was also promoting that event. It was on January 8th, if I remember correctly. So what was the reason for the last minute announcement?
Honestly, I don't know, but I was just hyped for it. Plus, Lincoln, I mean, he found it, didn't you?
Yeah. So
yeah,
Wayne and David Kotlow from Armwrestling Uncensored, they reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, Wayne's gonna be there. He wants a match. Do you know any super heavyweights?" And so I hit him up, and he's like, "Sure, love to pull Wayne. You know, what's the worst that could happen?"
I'll probably 99.9% of the time take a match if it involves getting paid and a fun trip. Yeah. You know, I'm always down for that. You know, so.
You mentioned earlier that if a guy is a hooker, you are naturally going to pull back. So are you a top roller, or would you consider yourself equally versatile in all the moves?
I would consider myself a top roller, but at the same time, I'm equally as strong in the hook. My hook is very strong as well. It's deceivingly strong. And my press it's okay. You know, I got to be deep into a comfortable position in order to get a press. Somebody has to be king's moved, and I got to have them pretty far on my side of the table to invest my press. But I'd say my hand and wrist, you know, that way going back is fairly strong.
I'd say if he's ever going to set, like if he were to say what world record would be closest to him, it would be back pressure. Like he would be most world class.
So my biceps strong too because I'm working, you know, on static holds. But at the same time, I feel like I open up fairly easy just due to not the lack of training, but I guess so new in the sport and so new to realizing how strong people are. So my training on my side pressure has increased a lot here lately, but it's due to just knowing how strong humans are, how strong people are in this sport, you know, that just have a crazy amount of side pressure. So I feel like my wrist and hand are pretty strong, but I don't know. You know your weaknesses. Everybody knows where they can work. I know mine. I shouldn't exploit them. Yeah, but at the same time, you know, come get me because I'll have to work harder. So, you know, and that's all I'll do. I won't hate you if you beat me. Maybe a little, but you know, but no, I'm joking. But just make me work, make people work harder, make each other work harder for the better of the sport, for love of the sport, and to push each other for, you know, better.
We'll talk about the tournament once again. And surprisingly, Wayne Withers is also in the chat. He's saying that Austin's hand felt like a grill. So can you challenge him once more for a future super match? He's listening to us.
It felt like a what?
It felt like a girl.
Oh, well, tell him hopefully next time it'll feel like a little boy's.
And I'm coming for Wayne's left. Just
tell Wayne. I'm sure it felt like a little girl's. It felt like a little girl's compared to his. Honestly, his wrist and hands ridiculous. It's unreal.
Right. And there it is. You have the challenge out there for Wayne. And Calignator with a 10 Canadian dollar super chat, supporting the channel that got the boost it deserved. Thank you very much, brother. I'll keep working hard on this channel. Bully the Bull is saying good morning. Alex Gordecha, which arm you want? I'm not sure who that message is for. And Drew Avery is saying, which arm do you want? He just said that.
I don't know, left or right.
Alex, some guy named Alex.
Good either way. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not shy.
Drew Avery is saying, what's good, brother? Doing great. And
hey.
You know Drew Avery?
Yeah, he got me into the sport. I call him my coach.
Drew's a good guy.
He's a beast.
Has a strong hand and wrist. Mm-hmm. He does.
Wayne Withers is saying he's just kidding, buddy.
Of course he is. Wayne knows he has to be kidding.
He got scared is what it was.
Wayne, you know I love you, buddy.
Right. So let's get back to the tournament. The popular opinion right now is that Arnold's is not what it used to be many years ago. The competition has diluted. Would you agree with that statement? Because at one time we had Dave Chaffee competing, we had Dennis Siplenkov competing, Ryan SP was going there.
You know, I don't know if it's the fact that it has or if it's the pandemic that had weakened it. Because, you know, just in 2018, you had Michael Todd and Dennis Trubin. So, or Dimitri Truman, sorry, Dimitri Truman. So, those are two very good pullers. And I don't think anybody, I believe they had a lot more pullers in 2018. I'd have to say, give it a couple more years. Next year, I think a lot more people will be there, a lot more people. And, but at the same time, it wasn't a small tournament at all. It was a good sized tournament, and you only have so much stage time. And we ended up having to run 2 tables. So, I mean, we started getting 2 tables rolling. So, but yeah, I would agree with that statement. This year, I'd say it was probably maybe a third of the size it usually is, maybe half.
So what would your advice or suggestion or maybe prediction for future be about tournaments? Like when we have a super match, it is really easy in today's internet world to promote a super match. We can say that Wayne Withers thinks that Austin Jaggers has a girly head and Austin thinks otherwise. He thinks he can take his revenge. So it becomes kind of easy to promote a super match. But what about tournaments? Tournaments are getting left behind. With your experience, what would you tell the organizers or promoters or even the athletes? What should we do to promote the tournaments, such high level tournaments as Arnold's itself? What can we do to promote them better?
I mean, honestly, I think if you can promote the tournaments just like you do your super matches, I just think they have to put more, I don't know, prize money into a tournament, or something worth making the tournament more fun to pull. Cooler trophies, bigger medals, more prize money. But it's the fact that I don't think tournaments are being left behind whatsoever. I just think super matches right now are being glorified, and I think it's a wave. I think right now it's a super match wave. I think it's a sensation because of the internet. I think give it time before you know it, tournaments will be back the same as they were. We have to promote tournaments, but we have to make them worth people traveling and people coming for. Understand the love of the sport is great, but right now, you got gas, $5 a gallon. You're not going to have people wanting to drive wherever you live. I don't know. I know it's around $4 to $5 around here. But I'm saying, in order for me to drive to Massachusetts or to Oklahoma or to California, I want $1,000 or I want $500 or I want, more than that. You know what I'm saying? But it's everyone. I believe everybody would, but it's hard to gather that much money. Hell, you have to have $100 entry fees, or, it'd be nice if you had some type of lottery that you could do, or we could get involved in some type of pro money. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be cool. But what is shoulda, coulda, woulda, wanna, so.
When I hear things like it is a 10-hour drive for me, 15, 14-hour drive for me, it kind of sounds strange to me, because here in India, we either travel in trains if the distance is that much, or we fly. Like literally nobody is having an 8-hour drive or 10-hour drive. Maybe it's a cultural or maybe a geographical thing, because nobody would drive for 5-6 hours, because first of all, the roads are not really great here in India.
That makes sense. Oh, the roads aren't that great here either.
So we have some more comments. SEL Array is saying that who is the biggest name you guys have pulled? So he's asking both of you, or practiced.
I mean, here recently, Paul Passamore, Don Underwood, let's see, that Oslav.
You get to lock up a Chance.
Arm wrestle Chance a little bit in practice, Artem Top Row.
Oh, he pulled Todd Hutchins on
Todd Hutchins. Yeah, and I had a good practice with Todd Hutchins. Yeah. I was able to give him everything he asked for his hand. I actually opened his hands a few times. Yeah. I got, a long time ago, I had some good wins on people. I had a win on BJ Fakakis, which, I think might have, that was a long time ago.
When Corey West and he were both amateurs, they had a match.
When me and Corey West were going for number one amateurs in Michigan, Kellogg Arena, I beat Corey for left and right. amateurs, and that's what got me into pro. So, that was probably what
2017.
2017.
It was right when you first started.
Yeah, right when I first started.
So Tyrell 122 is saying congrats, Austin. And guys, I'd love to talk more with you. Like right now, the conversation is getting really interesting and really comfortable because all of us are talking with each other for the first time. With me for the first time, not you guys. But unfortunately, I'm kind of running out of time. I only have about 6 minutes left. Maybe we can do a part 2 or something of this show.
Let's do this again, soon. I'm more than happy.
Because usually I'm only talking about things that I already know. I'm like repeating. When you're speaking, you're only repeating what you already know. But this show, I'm learning a lot. Like almost everything is new to me because tournaments are not really my knowledgeable subject right now. I would like to get to know more about tournaments. So if anybody wants to contact or watch your training or watch you compete, where can they go? Instagram or Facebook?
Well, I got Jaggers. What is it? Jaggers 67 on Instagram.
YouTube is where we try to get most of his
YouTube
content.
is where I try to get a lot. Austin Jaggers on YouTube. But what's TikTok?
TikTok is
Jaggers
Arm Wrestling Jaggers.
Arm Wrestling Jaggers.
Yeah, and that one's just kind of fun. You'll see some.
That one's fun. You'll see interesting, neat things. But I just, I want to get support and fans, and I'd like to just, get my name out and about, and I want people to, know what I'm capable of. I want them to know I'm no joke, left or right.
All right. One last comment that we are going to take. Bully the Bull feels like a theory, maybe that big name pullers want secure money, and in a tournament you could always get a bad roll of opponents, which could actually end up costing money for you instead.
Exactly. I mean, that's another thing too. On a super match, you can train for who you're pulling. You can study them. It's like it's like who you're playing in football or who you're playing your next opponent. You got film. You're going to study, are they a hooker? Are they a back row? Do they top row? And you know what you're going to go against. And you know about who you can win and beat because you've seen who they went against. In a tournament, you don't know who's going to show up. So you pay this entry fee. And at the same time, Barbosa can show up. And you just be like, okay, well, later, here goes my right. There goes I'm coming second for right, So, or Dave Chafee and Devon can show up, and you can just go ahead and kiss your money goodbye.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for joining. It is really a pleasure for me to invite a champion on my channel. Wish I could do it for longer and one more time, maybe.
You too.